Well, what's up, Dink? Yes, sir. You did beat me in here. I'm not gonna lie, just a little bit. uh, yeah, I went live a lot later than I originally intended to, but it's okay because things do as they will. You know. But yeah, the Utah Jazz dropped another one. Not a bad game though overall. Not a bad game at all overall. 120, 126. Expected loss. Went a little bit different than I thought it would. Jimmy Butler had his 37. Bam had his 23. Duncan Robinson only had 12. Terry Rozier only had 14. We saw uh, Jaime Jaquez Jr. with 12. Caleb Martin with 18. That was a little bit of a surprise one, but somebody was bound to go off. It just made the most sense that somebody had that opportunity, and it happened to be them this time, unfortunately for us. But you live with it and you roll, you know. But on our end, Keyonte George had a bounce back game, which was pretty pleasant. Colin Sexton had 18, 1 and 5. THT played 20 minutes today, actually, and had 7, 8 and 3. Omer played 15, has 7 and 5. Bryce Sensabaugh had 13 minutes, played 6. Had 6 points. Chris Dunn played 10 minutes today, which was a little bit interesting. No points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. And Lukas Samanic played 5 minutes. John Collins had 18, 6 and 3. Taylor Hendricks had 8 season high 13 rebounds and 1 assist in 29 minutes. And then Larry Markin in 41 minutes. I don't know why they decided to play him that long. Had 25, 4 and 6. Was good, Incognito. Yes, sir, Dink. Yes, sir. Overall, we both shot extremely high from the field, percentage-wise. We found ourselves in a situation where the Heat shot 46 for 88, which was 52.3%. We shot 42 for 87, which was 48%. Still a good percentage, but, they just shot more. We hit one more 3 than them and also attempted one more 3, by the way. Shot 40%, 14 for 35. They were 13 for 34. Shot 38.2% from 3. From the free throw line, we had one more free throw make and attempt as well, with that being 22 of 26 to their 21 of 25, 84.6% for us, 84% for them. Overall, a very interesting bout. We won the rebound battle. 12 offensive rebounds to their 8, 30 defensive rebounds to their 26. We also saw them actually destroy us in the assist category, 33 to 24. They had one more block than us, 6 to 5. Steal wise, they had 6. We had 3 turnovers. We had 10, but they only had 6. So that was a big point of emphasis. Points in the paint, they had 62. They were killing us in the paint. We had 50. And then personal foul count was roughly like dead center. We had 19. They had 20. No. Honestly, this just came down to them hitting more shots than us. That's what it was. 3-point percentage. Obviously, we were slightly better. Free throws, we were slightly better. We attempted and made one more apiece, so that's understandable. But it was just a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, considering the fact that you have a bounce back game from your rookie who is still trying to find his way around being consistent. But he ended up getting the job done, or on his end at least. Across the board, though, things obviously weren't the best, and that put us where we are today in this moment. Keyonte George actually shot really great. It did take him 23 shot attempts, which isn't the best, but I'm not mad at it. Lowry, though, I still don't agree with him playing like 41 minutes because he was 5 of 15 from the field and 4 of 9 for 3. 4 of 9 from 3? Great. 5 of 15 from the field. That means he was 1 of 6 from inside the 3-point line. Definitely not, particularly great. But from the free throw line, he was 11 of 12. So you could argue that, well, that made the difference for you. He also had 4 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, a block, and only 1 turnover, which is actually incredibly efficient. And as a matter of fact, let me backtrack just a little bit because he had a box score plus minus of a +6, which means literally when Lowry was not on the floor today was where we lost the game. Interesting. Taylor Hendricks and John Collins must have played roughly. Yeah, they played 5 minutes without each other. Both box score of a both the box score plus minus have a -16. Taylor Hendricks was 4 of 7, missed both of his threes, had 13 rebounds, 4 of them being offensive, and 2 blocks to go along with just 1 turnover. While John Collins was 8 of 13 and was 1 of 3 from 3, hit 1 of 2 free throws, 6 rebounds, 2 of them being offensive to go along with 3 assists, a block, and 1 turnover himself for a total of 18 points, by the way. Keyonte was, we touched on his shooting splits, but 12 of 23, 6 of 14 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, all being defensive, and 4 assists. The issue was he did have 5 turnovers, which did lead the team. So out of the team 10 that was had, half of them did belong to him. He's the only player on the court that played more minutes than Lowry. So it is pretty understandable that he did end up getting himself into that situation. We then also find ourselves with Colin Sexton going 7 of 13 from the field, missed the 1 3 that he took, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, though, 1 rebound, 5 assists, and no turnovers at all. So solid night controlling the ball, pretty efficient performance. Nothing too crazy, just calm buckets. Chris Dunn only took 1 shot attempt in his 10 minutes of play, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal. 4 personal fouls, though, which scary, but it happened. Omer in that 15 minutes was 3 of 4 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, and 2 of his 5 rebounds were offensive. His box score plus minus was a +10. You saw Taylor Horton Tucker be 1 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from the 3-point line, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Had 8 rebounds, 1 of them being offensive, 3 assists, 1 block, no turnovers, surprisingly. But he did have 4 personal fouls, and he actually had a surprisingly good box score plus minus. It was the 3rd best on the team behind Lowry and Omer, 7 out of 5. Bryce Sensabaugh was also a positive in his 12.5 minutes. He was 2 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. No rebounds, assists, steals, or blocks. He did have 2 turnovers, though, and only 1 personal foul. Box score plus minus of a +2. And then Lucas Domanich had nothing, just no major statistical category stats in that 5 minutes that he played. It was a box score plus minus of a -4. Yeah. They just... In the end, looking at things, it's interesting that Taylor Horton Tucker would manage to be a box score plus minus in a positive despite going, missing 6 shots. Kind of crazy, but it was what it was, Everybody honestly shot pretty well from the field with the exception of Lowry. Now, Lowry shot decently from 3, obviously. 4 for 9 is definitely a great percentage. 44.4%, can't beat that. But 5 of 15 overall is a bad look. He was 11 of 12 from the free throw line. I didn't hate this game. I actually was pretty fond of this one. We lost it, right? We dropped it. It was a one that you would love to have back. But overall, I'm definitely not mad with the overall situation. We saw what happened. I know they're tanking, but man, I can't get with the losing. I kind of wish they moved Sexton and Lowry at the deadline if they were going to go all in on the rookies. Understandably so. It's hard because we watch all the games, right? It'd be different if, we caught one game a week and it ended up being one of the competitive ones and we just happened to lose. And we look back at the schedule and was like, oh man, we lost a lot of games this season. That's tough. We can live with that. But this... It's rough right now, but it'll make sense once next season comes around under the assumption that they actually, Taylor Hendricks and Keyonte Goerge do develop the way that we expect them to, and we see more of this consistent play. Now, I'm not saying Keyonte needs to drop 31 for us to be competitive because we don't need that from him. But, if you could consistently give us 18, 20, 21, then you have a situation where you have Colin Sexton, who's always going to be a consistent bucket. You have Lauri Markkanen, who is in a little bit of a slump right now from a creationist standpoint, but is trying to improve his game, right? He's going to be consistent for you. Taylor Hendricks is going to be a lock on defense. And then rebounding wise, he's helping clean up the glass alongside John Collins. And we need his 3-point ball to fall. But by and large, I mean, that's pretty reliable for the most part. Now we're still a piece or two away. And I think Bryce Sensabaugh definitely needs more than 12 minutes to make something happen. And he hasn't got that yet, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. I remember being frustrated with the Jazz drafting Keyonte with Cam Whitmore when Cam Whitmore was right there, but we made the right choice in hindsight. He's a future star for sure. Yeah, I do. I'm willing to trust the process right now. Yeah, I'm definitely willing to trust the process this time. You said just needs to stop having 3 Jordan Clarkson games for every 1 Lowry game. Yeah. We just need that consistency to really come in for him. I'm not gonna lie. I think they have to find a line between George's development while also valuing the guys who are already proving good players want to play and win. Very true. And if you do decide that this is the route that you want to take, you have to have that conversation. You have to have that conversation before, like in advance, with guys like Lowry and Sexton, and even John Collins, right? Yeah, and Chris Dunn, because these are guys that really were significant during that particular run where they were being very successful with basketball, where they were winning a lot of games, and they were holding themselves to a different standard. They were taking pride in the brand of basketball that they were playing. So not only do you trade away a couple of their guys at the deadline, you don't get anything in return. And then you basically just switch the development timeline to, we're just going to focus on the rookies. Well, before you announce that to the media, your star players and all the guys that were part of that run need to know, hey, guys, this is what it is. This is what it isn't, before you go public with that. Because if they find out through a reporter and they're getting interviewed and they're like, that's what we're doing now, that's a bad look. And then they don't trust you, though. They can't trust the organization. They're going to do what's best in their interest instead of what's in the best interest of the organization. And that's a whole nother can of worms to open up. I don't see a star in George. I think he's a guy who can get hot from 3, but I haven't seen a consistent scorer. I'm willing to enter. I'm going to look over Keyonte's numbers by the end of this season, because he kind of gives me the vibe of what Trae Young gave me when he came in as a rookie. Now, obviously, they're 2 different physical profiles, but Trae Young shot god awful when he first got in the league. Like that first half to 2/3 of the season, he was terrible. But then he started tearing it up. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Keontae's tearing it up. He's having some good games, right? He's having a couple 30 pieces. That's tough. But he's also, having a couple not so tough games. And that's we need that consistency from him. So I'm willing to entertain, we're what, 27 and 34? Let me see. Google 27 plus 34 equals 61. So we have 21 games left. Over the next 21 games, I need to see a lot of growth from him. I need to see a little bit more from Taylor Hendricks from his 3 ball. I'd like to see a little bit of consistency. I don't need him to be perfect from 3, right? But if we could get him to a point where he has 5 or 6 games during this situation where, he finds himself being 2 of 3, 2 of 4, and then kind of dips back down to 1 of 3, 1 of 4. I can live with that. I can see more consistent and reliable tape on his ability to have that jumper. But overall, I like him being playable right now, honestly. He does have his lapses in judgment, and he still has a lot of his battles are going to be mental. The Taylor Hendricks situation is always going to be mental, because he has the size, he has the length, he has the athleticism, he has the quick twitch fibers. He's able to make the play, but it's mentally, can he string together all the probable situations to make sure he does manage to get that done? And that's the big question mark. So far, he's looked a lot better than I think a lot of people were willing to give him credit for, considering, he was sitting in the G League. And if you're a top 10 pick in the G League your first season, you must be trash. No, I don't agree with that. I never agree with that. I knew that he was going to take a little minute, because we were returning from a back-to-basket player to a face-up player that also was going to have a 3 ball, which his 3 ball is still, trying to translate. But he's doing better in other offensive situations. And I don't view him as much of a drop-off from John Collins. Is he a little bit less offensively aggressive and proficient? Yes, of course, we knew that. But defensively, I kind of like Taylor Hendricks a little bit more than John Collins. I just like the way that he plays. He plays with a little bit more ferocity, a little bit more, personality on that side of the ball. Now, John Collins is drastically improved from where he was before the trade deadline, before trade talks started going on. But I still wouldn't say he's a net positive. I don't think he's ever going to be a great help defender. I don't think he's ever going to be a great rim protector. Not to say that Taylor Hendricks is going to be great as a rim protector either, but he's also a very good help side defender. And individually, I believe that he has more talent and more feel for the game than John Collins does on the defensive side, at least. Yeah, it will be big like Beyonce is crazy. That I would like to see him be successful though. All jokes aside. What's up, Chris? Yeah, we lost a tough one. It was a good game. We shot really well from the field, shot 48%. They just shot 52% and got more buckets. THT was 1 of 7 though. He was really the only guy between both teams that had a bad shooting game. Like he shot bad today. Conversation needs to be had, especially when we're seeing games where Sexton is hit, then only getting 5 attempts in the half. Yeah, I definitely see that. Yeah. I'm hoping the rookies take a leap next season and really help Lowry. Yeah, we need to see it really now. We need to see what we're working with. Because if I see the same Keyonte I was seeing at the beginning of the season over these next 21 games, I'm not saying he's a bust, right? Because he's a middle first round pick. He might just be a bench player, right? He might just be a solid 6 man. He might just be a little bit more consistent than Jordan Clarkson is right now, you know? Taylor Hendricks, I think, has the most potential to be something great for a championship team. I don't think he's going to be a number 1 option on a championship team. Don't get me mistaken, but piece for piece, like I think he will fit what a lot of teams will be looking for in the future at this rate of growth. I think Trae Young college rap gave you confidence in the player he'll be, though. Yeah, you could make that argument. I think that probably Keyonte just suffers from not being able to have that for the fact that he played like out of position and weighed freaking 230 in college, which is actually that's a crazy story in and of itself. Honestly, I didn't even realize until I actually started looking for the information because they don't just randomly publicize that stuff. But yeah, no, I definitely see what you mean though. Yeah, I see the upside with Hendricks a little bit more because his skill set is needed. I think the guard situation is still redundant considering the Jazz want Keyonte to be a fraction of what Sexton is now. Yeah, I can see that for sure. Hopefully no more Jordan Clarkson this year. You know they're going to bring him back, Show Shot. You know they're going to bring him back. What was he out with today, actually? They said – it doesn't happen on here for me. I forgot what he was listed as inactive with, but they didn't list him with a DNP. They said that he's out. THT season. I'm so shocked. Playing 50 minutes a game. He's playing ridiculous time. But yeah, it's been more or less a very interesting season thus far. Yep. Hoping the offseason makes sense of some of the things the Jazz are doing, like JC Minzelak. The thing is, Jordan Clarkson has to get traded, right? There's no way you can convince anybody with more than 4 brain cells in their head that Jordan Clarkson should be playing above the rookies if you want the rookies to show who they are, right? Maybe you think that Bryce Sensabaugh isn't ready yet. Play him, right? Jordan Clarkson is shooting 41% from the field and 29% from 3. Shooting almost as many shot attempts as Lauri Markkanen. Your 6-man shoots as many shot attempts as your star player and misses the lion's share of them. I think you can give the rookie a couple more minutes. I think you can play him 20 minutes, 25 minutes even. I'm not saying, bench Clarkson for the rest of the season, but I'm also not saying he should be out there the entire time because it's clearly not working. It's not conducive to winning. He's not making the players around him better. He's not a great example for what you want your other guards to play like. You don't want Keyonte George to turn into Jordan Clarkson, do you? Just little things like that, Just little things like that. We need a shooting guard, 3 and D. We need something. All things aside, at least we had a fun win streak. That was generally some of the most fun I had watching basketball. I'm not gonna lie, Chris. Yeah, you got me there. The chemistry this team had at that point, brother, that was something special. It wasn't just that they were winning. It was the way they were winning. It was enjoyable basketball to watch. Like you were invested emotionally and mentally, like you were locked in on the game. It wasn't just, oh, I'm watching this team because I'm watching this game because it's my team playing. It was like, nah, this is good basketball right here. You see the defensive adjustments that they're making. You see guys really step up some games. Some guys have a bad game. You're like, oh no, we're in trouble. And then you see somebody else step up, and then everybody's locked in. Everybody's hype off the bench. Everybody's celebrating, even when they're getting sat on the bench in favor of some other guy, because that guy goes off, and now they're the person that got subbed out. They're hype. They're ecstatic about it. And it's like you can't find those vibes everywhere. You can't find those vibes everywhere because a lot of teams, it's me, 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 me. Why am I on the bench, coach? He's not better than me. Why are we playing him? He gets a dunk. They get up, they clap, and they sit back down. Or they sit down there, they look at the dunk, they like, clap and sit back down. That's not what this team was. This team had a lot more energy. They had more pizzazz. It was a vibe. And you can't make it up. It was big. It was bigger than it probably will ever be, honestly. It's tough. It's here, there, and everywhere. Since ball reminds me of Yang, but better. That's an interesting comparison. I don't hate that comparison, actually. My thing is why they feel they need to overutilize Clarkson to trade him is actually hurting his value, LOL. It's like he's playing so poorly. Well, let me read this over. I think they have the perfect balance of the starting lineup. Dunn and Sexton are the best complementing each other in the backcourt. Absolutely. Undoubtedly. Best basketball I've seen out of the duo. And Lee actually brought this point to my attention that, he thinks that Lowry is actually suffering a little bit because Dunn's not in the game. And Dunn was the perfect floor general. He was the leader on defense, spearheading the attack from opposing teams, but also on offense, he didn't steal shots from anybody, right? He didn't take a lot of shots. He was going to take a maximum maybe 5, maybe 6, right? He was always going to take single-digit shots, and his whole objective was to set up Lowry for the opportunity to get buckets, to set up John Collins with the opportunity to get buckets, to defer to Colin Sexton and get everybody to get the ball moving, and that's what he did well. Keyonte George is still learning that aspect. As we saw today, he had 4 assists and 5 turnovers, so he wasn't the most efficient with the ball in his hands, but he was efficient with his shot making today, so it kind of made up for it. But it's not the same, and so you could argue very much so that partially his Lowry's inability to properly score now is the fact that Chris Dunn is no longer playing big minutes alongside him. And then in that same vein, it's like, okay, are we doing this because we know it's going to force Lowry to have a certain level of pressure so that he's going to have to develop a dribble game? He's going to have to develop a off the bounce game? Is that the goal of this? Just something, just a little caveat out there, but it really comes down to how you view the situation, honestly. He said, I agree with that with that about Lowry. That's why I wish they use Sexton more on ball, because when they play pick and pop, I think Lowry can eat off based on the spacing Sexton provides. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely behind you on that one. Most definitely. That's just how the cookie crumbles, though, sometimes, honestly. Hey, gang, who we thinking is our... Screw you, Zach. Nah, you're right, though. I actually don't know. I'm wondering if they're going to try and trade it. But at the same time, I have no clue. It's possible. Buzelis or Holland. If Epic was in here, he would have a direct answer for you. But I lean Buzelis, actually, all the same. At least it makes the most sense for me, personally. as it stands. Now, of course, there's no clear cut pick, but yeah, just kind of feeling things out right now. We said, is the pick worth it though? I don't know any of the potential prospects. There is actually some sneaky good guard picks in this draft from a lengthy standpoint. Now, the reason why this draft class is kind of weak is because it's kind of iffy. There's not a lot of surefire picks in this draft coming up. There's a couple guys where it's like, oh, they're intriguing. Oh, they might have this in their bag. Oh, they might be able to do this other thing, but there's no guarantees. And that's the biggest concern, because you find a lot of teams are probably going to end up striking out. But then you also might have a team that really strikes gold, picking somebody, at 18th, 25th, something like that. And it's like, oh, we never expected this draft to be good because most of this draft was, out of the league in 5 years, 7 years. But it's one of those situations where they do have the potential. There's a lot of guys that have potential. And I like the lengthy wings that are that are in this draft. Low key. I need a lanky wing. If you want, I don't need a point guard. If you give me a 2-3 kind of guy, like somebody 6'8", 6'9", I'm content. Because again, we don't have to play him big minutes. We still have John Collins under contract. Nobody's going to take his contract. Let's face it. We're probably now going to trade Lowry, so we'll still have Lowry. We'll still have Walker Kessler. And we now have Taylor Hendricks added into the rotation. So that's 4 guys running your 3 through 5 roles. So that rookie, honestly, you can slide him in there somehow, because you saw Abaji play a lot. You saw Abaji play 18-ish minutes a night. Give that rookie Abaji minutes. And if he ends up being trash, oh well, oh well. But if we could package, these draft picks this year together to get a better, more surefire draft pick, or just, either lay them back into the next year, or if somebody does end up being available and you can trade Jordan Clarkson alongside some of these draft picks to get somebody that's worthwhile, that would be, awesome. But if not, it's just a shoulder shrug, really. Because we have 4 shots this offseason. I don't think we're going to take all 4 of those draft picks for ourselves. We don't have enough time in that rotation unless you're telling me somebody else is getting sent out besides Jordan Clarkson, right? Just up in the air about it. Remember when we were in the playing spot? Those were great days. You remember when I said I was right? They're proving me right about them being a top 6 team in the West. Them being possibly a 6 or 7 seed in the West. Yeah, the analysts got it. And the NBA analysts, they knew the script before I got it, brother. They knew the script. They knew what was going to happen. I lost. Yeah. He said was the 1 to 3 pick, and then his year at Duke fell to 10 or whatever it was. Yeah. Their livelihood was tough. There isn't a super high ceiling guy. Lots of potential studs, though. Yeah. Best way I can explain it, if Hendricks was on his draft, he'd be a top 6 pick, maybe 5. Yeah, pretty much. BYU has a lottery player, Jackson Robinson. Yeah, need 2 or 3. My U of A Wildcats have their whole starting 5 in the second round. Hey, at least they're all draft prospects instead of like half of them going undrafted or just one of them being it. Thank you, Lee. Yes, sir. You and Logic both are in that tier now. Upgraded race of God. You're greater than you'll ever know, honestly. If I had rent, Lee and Logic and Zach, all of them would be paying my rent right now. I'm not gonna lie. W members in the chat, man. I should do a reaction channel. Well, I mean, I have a reaction channel, but I should do it more. I think it would be a fun endeavor. I'm not very individually funny though. But yeah. We said, here's look at sick usual though, bro. Nah, see, I need to get the rest of it done. Stuff came up, so I wasn't able to. Wait, where is this? Oh, this is back. This is back. It's weird looking at yourself in camera, trying to figure out where your hair is supposed to go. There we go. What? Oh, yeah. I got a lot of hair actually. I'm happy about it. Yeah, but I gotta finish getting it braided. If I had to pop on. I didn't know it broadcast that. When I was up here, like so. W. Lee. Seen Danny Ainge at BYU game. Really interesting, interesting, interesting. Well, yeah, still interesting. Yeah, like subscribe, like Zach said, man. Though I'm pretty sure it's all members up in here right now. All the premier subscribers and family members of the societal bond that we have. Hmm. Most definitely. Yeah, something like that, Zach. But yeah, man. I know we didn't have a whole bunch to talk about. This game was pretty, cut to the point, cut and dry. Nothing too insane going on in the NBA at the moment. We're just kind of watching the games tick by until there's nothing left for us, and we know where our draft pick's gonna be. And I guess there's positives in that, and then we'll just watch the playoffs with dang, we that could have been us vibes, but I'm not mad at it. It's how the cookie crumbled, you know. It's how the cookie crumbled. But like always, I appreciate you gentlemen popping into the live. Yeah. I appreciate y'all boys popping into the live, taking the time out of your busy evenings. I know it was a significant period of time after the game that I decided to go live this time. But I appreciate y'all taking the time out to come kick it for a little bit. We only went for 30 minutes, just a calm little amount. Rightfully so, Hashcracker. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. But yeah, it's something. I'll step up and try and get it drafted by the Utah Jazz to win this chip. I'm 21 and not in college. Yo, Chris, you're a fool. You're funny, Chris. I like that. I like that about you, man. You're different. You're different. I like that. Nah, but appreciate y'all boys. Appreciate Lee for that updated subscription. That will definitely be very helpful. Very much appreciated. Gracias, senor. Jazz draft Clayton Clark with the 8th pick. I don't need that. I don't need that level of smoke being brought into our lives. The level of a microscope we would be put under is insane. But what's up, Car Wash? He said back on a losing streak. Hope we win next game. Well, we'll see how things go. We'll see how things go. Elite backcourt duo with Keyonte Goerge, Steph, and Clayton. That's insane. Yeah, the Jazz are at the end of the road, guys. But as always, I appreciate you boys tuning in. It's been a time, a quality game. We still lost, but there was a lot of good spots for us to enjoy here and there. That being said, as always, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and become a member to catch the videos faster than anybody else. As a matter of fact, when I hop off here, I'm going to edit my video that I'll probably drop tomorrow. My videos are kind of not doing well. I think it's because the Jazz also aren't doing well, which is tough. But, it comes and goes and ebbs and flows. It is what it is. Regardless, I'll have my next video coming out tomorrow, probably 2 p.m.-ish. I actually think it'll probably be my Jordan Clarkson one. Got like 4 or 5 in the hole in my little duffel bag to carry me through next week, just in case my copium doesn't work. What could be in the future. But with that being said, appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, it's your Red Hoops. Good morning, good evening, and good night, no matter where you're on the globe watching. Thanks for tuning into this live stream, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.